entire different version. They want to shout Blue Lives Matter, but it's really Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter!
Say it with me, Black Lives Matter!
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 So they can get out of here with that Blue Lives stuff because you chose that job. We're gonna take
I currently don't have any of my equipment.
Forever we sing. One thing they don't know.
We are fighting for Black women. We are here fighting for Black trans. We are here.
They don't want to see us free. They don't want to see us free.
Or something. Yeah, it's
Aren't you on their side?
it's complicated.
To report me to it.
No, I mean, no, like, look, hang on.
They won't already come after me, right? Breonna Taylor was supposed to be, I think, 27 this year. I'm 24. Am I going to turn 25 this year? If I can't be in my own home with my partner, in my own bed, enjoying my own peace, what can I do? And so I call upon the words, when my words aren't enough, I call upon the words of Fannie Lou Hamer, who says, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Fannie Lou Hamer said, you know, they call the United States the land of the free. But in Mississippi, in LA, I think Fannie Lou Hamer would also say that they call it the land of the cowardice and the tree, right? Because instead of always lynching us, if they're not shooting us, they're trying to kill our spirits. And so today I'm laying my fears to the side. I'm telling you to lay your fears to the side. And I'm telling you, because energy cannot be created or destroyed, we gotta keep that same energy. Not only do we have to keep that same energy, we gotta top that energy, y'all, because they're not going away. They don't care. Alex Wheeler way to criminalize the Westmont community and said it's dangerous. There have been 20 homicides in 2020. But he forgot to tell y'all that 8 people have been killed by the sheriffs in the summer alone. You want to talk about dangerous? Match that, y'all. So I'm going to stop. And I'm going to read the announcement that I'm here to make.
Love you. We got you. Yeah.
While y'all are fighting back, while we are fighting back together, we need y'all to do something else. We often talk about 2 things that we have as resources. Sometimes, and I'm careful with my words, sometimes we have money, but I know a lot of us have more time. And so in order to get Jackie Lacey out of here, we need y'all time to phone bank to get Jackie Lacey out of here. So take out your phones. It's already posted, but I want y'all to take out your phones so we can write down this link so you can sign up yourself, so you can send it to 5 other people who got time just like you. We in a pandemic. The clubs is closed. You can't really go out to eat. You can't go to the mall. So you might as well hop on your phone and phone bank. The link is bit.ly, so bit.ly/JLMG phone bank. I'm going to read it again. Okay, and it's all capital. So bit, only JLMG is capital R. Okay, so it's bit.ly/capital JLMG, all caps right there, phone bank. And that's lowercase. And if you missed it, go on BLM Los Angeles and you will find the link. Ask somebody around you, like in school. If you didn't get the information, ask your neighbor and get the information and send it to 5 other people. And sign up. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to the youth. Thank you, Roger. And if you missed any of that, it's all on the BLM Los Angeles Instagram. So you can go there too, save, bookmark the little post. There you go. All right. So what we're about to do is something called Asada.
Oh yeah.
Y'all already know what it is. I already heard somebody. If you don't know what Asada is, it is a very small portion of something that Assata Shakur once said that we all draw inspiration from and power from. If you don't know who Assata Shakur is, please research her. Repeat after us in the same tone as us, and then we'll get louder. It is our duty to fight for freedom. It is our duty to win. We must love and protect one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to fight for freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love and protect one another.
We must love and protect one another.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Ashe. Don't forget to go to the phone banking link. BLM Los Angeles on Instagram if you didn't get it when Roger announced it. And get y'all's friends who don't have nothing better to do to sign up. Thank you. Stay in the street.
Y'all ready to march? Y'all ready to march? Are we staying in these fucking streets?
Your car, or you're gonna go straight to the.
Are we staying in these streets?
This is well needed. Well needed.
Yes, Michigan in third is where we're at. We are at Michigan and 3rd, right at the Detroit Public AD. Oh, no. Thank you. Hey, I forgot about this hat. Hey. Just finally got my hat back. I totally forgot I even owned this hat. Shout out to Carly. Woo.
Say her name. Say her name. What's her name? What's her name? Say her name. Say her name. What's her name? What's her name? Say her name. Say her name. What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? Say his name. Elijah McCall.
You know, you get those feelings,
Say his name. Say his name.
and it might get a little spicy.
Say his name.
Well, tonight,
Say his name.
Who shut shit down?
Who shut shit down? Who shut shit down? Who shut shit down? Who shut shit down? Who shut shit down? Who shut shit down?
She rained over there. I took some Hollywood. So, and actually, I'll be the short officer right before you leave. You gotta get your phone like stickers. And I'm gonna make sure I pass this out too. Check.
Justice has not been served. Not served. We are tired. We are in pain. Put that pain into our breast. And we're going to continue to mobilize and come to these streets. And whatever else we need to do to get justice. One thing that we have to understand, and it doesn't mean that this fight is about to get easier. It doesn't mean this fight is about to get easier. So if you're looking towards the finish line right now, you might be in the wrong place. Because let me tell you something. This is yet another dog list. This is escalation. And we have to be real mindful. This was a beautiful march tonight. But I've heard Jay Bass say before, we gotta stay focused. I'm gonna say that again. We have to stay focused. When we come out to these streets, there will be people, agitators, people who are ready, who are not worth this movement. They are not worth this movement. They are not worth our time. We will not stop for them because guess what? They don't fucking matter. I'm gonna say that again. They don't fucking matter. Period. Don't let them distract you from what the real purpose is. We are a family. We move together. We march together. We love together. And if we're going to take care of each other, we are going to have to be mindful. We're going to have to be mindful because we are family. And we will defend and protect one another. But let's be smart about it. Let's move smooth. Let's move like we got a purpose. Let's move like we got a plan. Because when we organize, I just want to thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank everybody for every smile, every hug, for staying consistent. Started this movement this summer, and look how far this movement has come.
Yeah.
So I'm not not gonna stop long. I wasn't thinking I was gonna be up here. But I do want to tell y'all to keep fighting, and not just when you're marching. The fight goes on every day in your own homes, in your own families, in your communities. Don't stay silent because it's the workplace. Don't stay silent because it's Thanksgiving dinner. Don't stay silent. Keep using your voice because your voice matters. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it going strong, and let's stay focused.
Thank you. So I knew there was a reason why I was like, you gotta speak. So, my name is Tristan Taylor, organizer with Detroit Won't Breathe. And I just think, first off, round of applause for everybody who was part of today's event.
Yeah.
Especially for coming out on such short notice. And I think, honestly, this is something that we as a movement have to make sure that we're communicating to people in the city. Because they need to know we have a movement that can mobilize at a moment's notice for them to defend black and brown bodies. I think that's something that is really, really important. We did that for Priscilla Slater, for Hakeem Littleton. We did that for the Hall family. And we have to continue doing that. And so that means making sure, not that we're keep our eyes on the prize. But what that also means is understanding, as angry as we are about where we're at, because we want to be much further. As angry as we are about the limitations that we have, there are so many things that we actually have to offer, and we have to understand that. And to do that properly also means making sure we are consistently engaging and organizing with the people in this city and throughout the state of Michigan. And we've done such a good job of that, but we have to do a much better job of that. But we have something to offer them that is really, 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 really important. Because I'll tell you, the Hall family, they enjoyed what we were able to do to say that Black Lives Matter, right? And we came out there, and we'll be out there again next Saturday, actually. So I just want to make a quick announcement about what's happening this week again. This Friday, 7 p.m., right here, we're mobilizing, taking over these streets, just like we did today.
Exactly as it was intended to. Donald Trump is nothing new. He is a product of the America that we have been living in for 400 years. An America that was built by black women. And I am sick and tired of people looking the other way and thinking they are doing enough, because I promise you, you are not. And I am sick and tired of this conversation going on for over 100 days around Breonna Taylor and her image being used over and over again and being used for brownie points for fucking allies and being destroyed and decimated. And very rarely did I ever hear a conversation about abolition. Very rarely did I ever hear a conversation saying, we do not arrest the cop who killed Breonna Taylor in a system we are trying to abolish. The new world will not look like the ACJ. The new world will not look like arresting people. We have to think of those systems ourselves, but if we are really committed to justice, if we are really committed to the new world that we are always talking about, that we are in the middle of becoming, then we need to think a little bit bigger. I'm not interested in these systems anymore. The carceral system is not justice. We have never even seen what justice looks like in America, but we will. We will in our lifetimes. I believe, young people especially, in our lifetimes, we will see a new world. We will see a world that we did not grow up in, but it is our job to build it. We can't keep trusting and constantly being disappointed by systems that were not made for us. These systems are not sustainable. These systems are working exactly as they should be. So now it's not a conversation of what does justice look like in a broken world. It is how can we build a new one? Because I am sick of feeling this way. This is not a fucking trend. And I do not say that. I do not say that to even try and get you to to wake up or be on the right side. I say that to tell you, whether we want it or not, it is here, and you have a choice today whether or not you are going to be a part of it, but it will not wait for you. The new world is coming, y'all. Abolition means abolishing your childhood dreams. It means abolishing the world that you thought you were going to grow up in. That shit is dead, y'all, and it needs to die a long time ago. I'm sick of this. I am sick of feeling this way. We can't go on feeling this way. We've been feeling this way for 400 fucking years. I'm done. And if y'all are really done, then you know that today is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. This is not a mark that you post on your social media for the points that you can make. If it is, I'm sorry, but the trick is really about it. This is the beginning. So buckle the fuck up. Because this is my last day feeling like this. Black women are the greatest thing to ever happen to this fucking earth.
Preach.
Say it again. Black women are the greatest thing to ever happen to this city. The least livable city in America for black women. And also, coincidentally, the most livable city in America. That's not a fucking coincidence. No, this is not it. This is the beginning. So I hope that y'all are ready. And I want to remind, most of this has been, this is for everyone. But specifically white people, y'all know what to do. I'm not here to talk about the work that y'all gotta do because Google exists and it's free. Black people, I want to remind y'all, when we talk about this new world that we're building, when we talk about what the future looks like, that future to me means black joy. That future to me means black liberation. I'm not talking about some constant idea. I mean feeling that shit in my body every day waking up. And feeling free, and feeling whole, and feeling taken care of by my community. That's what black liberation means to me. That's the only thing I am interested in. I'm not interested in educating white people anymore. I'm not interested in trying to salvage a system that needs to burn. I'm ready for the next fucking step. This is just the beginning. Our liberation is priority. So white people, every day, non-black people, non-black, anybody who's not a black non-man, every day you need to be waking up and saying, how can I make the world more comfortable, more beautiful, more livable for black non-men? That is your job. For black trans women, that is your job. Because we would have nothing. Y'all would have nothing if not for that. This is just the beginning, y'all. I hope y'all ready.
It's about contributing, raising up, raising awareness, talking about all the people that you saw talk here today. It is not, like Mia said, it is not just enough to post that you were here today. It is to post about what you heard and what you listened to. This person, you will hear every word that she has to say. And then when you hear every word that she has to say, you show up for her tomorrow the same way you did for Breonna tonight. And if you don't, it is labeled transphobic. I don't give a fuck how you hear it. Y'all don't show up the same way you do for trans women.
Repeat after me. Listen to black women.
Listen to black women.
I can't hear y'all. Listen to black women.
Listen to black women.
Learn from black women.
Learn from black women.
Love black women.
Love black women.
What the fuck are y'all? Because not one of y'all care about my life as a black trans woman. This is not This is not for fame. We're out here because of our lives. 4 different counties came into my house a few weeks ago. A day after a man in that same county said, all transgenders should be killed. To kill me. My mother was literally in tears because she thought she was about to lose another child. Because a white woman said, we said burn it down, we said shut it down.
Even if we said burn it down.
It doesn't even matter, because yesterday, when our man was threatening y'all, he did not get arrested. But they came into my home, 4 different counties. We've been having rallies every week outside of this building. And none of y'all motherfuckers been there. So fuck every last one of y'all. Because you don't care about my life. So tomorrow, I hope to see you out there. Everybody. Stop coming out because you think it's trendy. When you're at work and you hear some shit, stop that shit. When you're in the street and you see some shit, don't pick the phone up, stop that shit.
Guys, I forgot my goggles, so I am suffering, but we're gonna keep streaming. All I gotta do is just keep closing my eyes. Don't rub them. I'll be okay. Oh my God. Oof. Oof. Oh my God. Oh my God. Whew. I hope I don't have snot from my nose because I'm gonna look pretty ugly. Oh. That shit right there.
KKK is an obvious correlation. It's fucking cool to do nothing but stand by while your people, kids, aunts, uncles, grandma, stand by and watch that shit. You gonna stand next to these niggas while they're right there, not giving a fuck? If you black and you go home, then you gotta put a serious fucking problem. To stand in solidarity with the rest of these cops while your people are being killed? What the fuck do y'all do? At the precinct? What the fuck do y'all do? What do y'all do? Not a goddamn thing. You take them fucking orders like the dog you want. I was on 52nd Street when they fucking tear gas and fucking shot us with fucking rubber bullets. Yet again, I was minding my fucking business. I was going home. And then all of a sudden, these fucking armored cars come down. They get all smiling like they can't wait to fucking shoot us. Like they can't wait to gas us. I was talking to them. They had on the fucking masks and the canisters in their hands. So what are you doing? We were there because y'all showed up in a fucking line on 52nd Street. What the fuck are y'all doing? Yeah, it's too much of this. They're a game.
And that is where Jeff Paul joins us tonight on the street there. Good evening, Jeff.
Yeah, Martha, getting a little hectic here in downtown Louisville after a pretty much peaceful day of protests. You can see a trash can has been set on fire out here with some things thrown in there. We've seen a few others set on fire. This is probably the largest one, but really the only main sort of, if you want to call it property damage that we have seen. Firework there that just exploded, and that's something we see from time to time during these protests. They use fireworks. I'm pretty sure that was a firework. I don't think that was a bomb of any kind of sort, but nonetheless, you never know what's going to happen out at these protests. And just to kind of re-rack what's happened today, that decision came down, and after a few hours of people marching in the streets, the police started pushing some of the people who were out here back, but they're back in downtown, and you can see there's a few fires going right now, and as always with fires, you never know what's in them, and in this situation, it looks like there was a firework, and now the police have just showed up. Martha?
All right, Jeff Paul, somebody putting an incendiary into a garbage can on the street there, and it exploded just a few feet away from where Jeff was covering this story. He's covered a lot of these stories over the course of this summer. And, you know, Jeff, you know, can you give me any sense of who is around you and how organized this group is?
people are obviously very spirited about what's going on out here. We just had an explosion, actually. So from one thing to another, you have an explosion, and you have people out here singing Breonna Taylor's name. Yeah, it's hard to tell really how organized it is right now, especially with some of these fires that have been lit here. I don't think the people who are down here to memorialize Breonna Taylor were exactly involved in that sort of behavior. It's not what we saw today with the people who were passionately marching throughout the street. But nonetheless, when it gets dark, that's when you really start to see some of this kind of behavior happening. And as we get closer to that curfew, that 9 p.m. curfew, we might see some more of it. Martha?
Obviously, that is what we have seen, the implementation of curfews after dark to try to calm things down. And that is still an hour away from kicking into effect. What is the police presence there, Jeff, in terms of implementing whether or not they're going to be able to?
There's a...
Hello.
Josh, moments before record.
Another U-turn. What is it?
Trust, keep your distance from that truck, broski.
From what?
The truck.
Where?
Where?
Behind the truck.
Oh.
Oh, it was a truck. It was a trash can.
What?
Fireworks, and then shortly thereafter, seconds later, Don, we heard what happened to be like gunfire. Then everyone started running, and then seconds later, after we were able to secure a location, we heard word that an officer had been shot. I want you to listen to what it sounded like from what the camera was.
Go, throw your hands up. Press, 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 press. Let's go, yeah.
They won it, guys. Thank you. They won it. They won it, chat. I'm just letting you know the city wants it. And you can imagine what they said in private.
Crowd that was marching in the street, they came out of the park area in front of the Hall of Justice that had been gathering there. As they were marching away from the kind of barricaded zone, there were people breaking off and smashing the uncovered windows and setting fires. They were marching in the street towards the police officers, but the officers fired flashbangs in the air over the crowd. About a few seconds later, that's when we started to hear the gunshots and people started to scatter. And the video that I posted for Town Hall, you can see me trying to run and get out of the way because a few seconds after the shootings could be heard, police started to swarm the area. And like I said, people started to scatter. We were trying to get out of the way and obviously trying to avoid any more potential gunshots.
And Julio, the authorities and shopkeepers, businesses, people don't realize from across the country, they've been boarded up for weeks and weeks, and they've been preparing for this immediate vicinity for the last several days. So there's been an enormous amount of chatter about this, yet you can see in a situation like this, there's only so much the police are going to be able to do. When it's this, quote, protest that's just violence and mayhem is spreading around such a wide array of streets and blocks and enclosed areas. There's only so much the police can control.
Right. And earlier today, another march was again marching in the streets. And this was right after the grand jury's decision had been made. And again, they were marching in the streets. Windows and businesses that were not covered were being targeted. And so they were eventually stopped, but they were stopped about 3 miles after they were in the Jefferson Square Park area. So, I mean, there was like about 3 miles worth of property that could potentially have been damaged by some in the crowd before they were eventually put a stop to, and people were arrested.
And some of the print news reports, Julio, from the immediate aftermath of the grand jury's decision were just anger. People were in disbelief. A lot of people don't understand the grand jury system, how it works, all the evidence presented and so forth, and I get that. And others were saying, according to the news reports, burn the you-know-what down. That was repeated and repeated and repeated. Burn it down. The city's going to pay. Have you heard anything like that?
Yes. People were very upset at how low the bail was set for the officer that was charged, and they were upset that only one officer was charged out of the 3. And in fact, I actually got video also. This was early on in the day where someone shouted at officers, all y'all get ready to effing die. And unfortunately, that threat has kind of almost come to fruition. Again, we're still waiting to hear an update. Right now, we're outside the hospital where they're being treated right now. We're waiting for the press conference to get started.
Julio, be safe, and thank you for being there for us tonight. We really appreciate it. And this violence that we're seeing play out tonight, and it's not just here, it's in other cities across the United States, is being fueled in part by a lie. What is that lie? The lie is that America is a systemically racist country, that we really haven't made really any progress, it's certainly not much progress, since the 1950s or 1960s on issues related to race. Now, this is a cynical and poisonous strategy, this entire narrative about systemic racism that's being employed by hard-left activists and echoed without any question whatsoever by many in the media who frankly know better. Now, that's exactly what they're doing now after this grand jury decision, where again, 2 officers of the 3 were not charged after the shooting of Breonna Taylor.
Reminder of the tremendous work that must be done to address the ways in which racism infects every aspect of policing.
I think it's grossly insufficient. It does not deal with the fact that the life of Breonna Taylor was taken. No one is actually being held responsible for her death.
What you just heard might make you think that police got the word, but that's not what happened. That's not what the grand jury found. Daniel Cameron, months ago, had these month-long investigations. He found that this was not served as a no-knock warrant. The police knocked and announced themselves before they entered the apartment. This was confirmed by an eyewitness, an independent eyewitness, I might add. Now, upon entering the apartment, the officers were greeted by gunfire from Taylor's boyfriend. One officer was hit in the thigh. He and another officer returned fire. Now, unfortunately and tragically, they hit Taylor 6 times. She was unarmed and died in the hallway. A Louisville grand jury examined all the evidence. It applied all the relevant statutory provisions regarding use of deadly force, and it found no probable cause to charge the crime of murder, and certainly not for all 3 officers. Now, jurors did indict former Louisville officer Brett Hankinson on 3 counts of first-degree wanton endangerment for blindly just firing bullets into 3 different apartment units. He went through some plate glass, and bullets ended up in another apartment where other people were sleeping. Thankfully, no one was hurt in that apartment. But he faces up to 5 years in prison. So this was a horrible tragedy. But the grand jury, which is our system of government, our system of criminal justice, how we look at these things, did not find probable cause to charge murder. Kentucky Attorney General Daniel Cameron delivered a summation of the findings earlier today and explained why everybody's emotions, as upset as people are, as angry as they might be, they have to be removed in these types of cases, in all cases where the grand juries operate.
The decision before my office as the special prosecutor in this case was not to decide if the loss of Miss Taylor's life was a tragedy. The answer to that question is unequivocally yes. I understand that Miss Breonna Taylor's death has become a part of a national story and conversation. But we must also remember the facts and the collection of evidence in this case are different than cases elsewhere in the country. If we simply act on emotion or outrage, there is no justice. Mob justice is not justice. Justice sought by violence is not justice. It just becomes revenge.
Now, the left responded to Cameron's very reasoned explanation with not just ignorance of the law,